Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sargel18. Episode 65 of Unchained. Biblical Revelation. Things I ponder about, and Lucifer's on a roll. Just to let people know, the last couple months, I didn't walk away from doing the videos. I had personal stuff that I had to take care of. My brain started bleeding again in the front from a sinus infection. Pain in the ass, and they had to take me to the hospital and all that. But I did get a chance to experience some things in the VA hospital, and it helped align my next set of videos that I'm going to put out, which starting with this one. I saw things that I predict. I saw things that I've dealt with as Sergio 18 over the last 40 years, but like not associate with, but it really knocked me on my ass for why I'm here and what I'm supposed to do for humanity. I mean, telling you all this and showing you all the great evidence, and even all the hundreds of people that I took to the vortex and saw shit, really isn't going to change anything as far as I'm concerned. The War 34 is going to be devastating. 2027 will be the start of 7 years of tears. And in 2037, Jesus will come back. Well, appear. He's already here. Saying come back is really not the right phrase. Appear and take care of all the problems. And then it's graduation time. You know, it should be good. So, I wanted to do that. I help people in general personally as Sergio 18. I also worked at this in the last couple of months. I've worked with DARPA and a number of other government agencies that they have to understand me in order to understand what they're up against. And they try. Well, I guess we'll see who wins, right? Hopefully it'll be good. The good wins. All right, now let's get on with it. As myself and everyone else sits here in biblical revelation, we see what's going on around us and the whole world. Even though some do not express their fear openly, deep down inside there's that nagging feeling, a speculation of what if? Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this guy's real? This Sargel guy. That nagging feeling you get in your gut works both ways, because it is what controls your thoughts excuse me, your thoughts and actions. Excuse me. Eventually leading your soul to heaven or hell. It's that important. To an advantage, if you give in to that gut feeling, that feeling in your gut, you will excel in your soul's mission here, whether it be of good or of evil. That feeling can't be nailed down by science or religions. It's different in every single soul, and it comes directly from heaven. Enough said. It's the gift from God to humanity that keeps on giving, so please pay attention and make the right choice. Any gut feeling on that level is a free will instigator to use God's greatest gift. Gives you a chance. Free choice. With all the destruction capabilities Lucifer has, why did he create stupid little things like dropping something and not being able to find it? And we all have done this, and I've talked about this for years, and finally Devron revealed to me that it's one of Lucifer's little things he uses to create minute negativity. But if you're creating it like 1 billion a day, really, you fill up a big truck with that negativity. And it happened, and it just happened the other night to me. I was sitting here at my desk, and I dropped an eraser, the top of an eraser for a pencil. I dropped it down. I didn't look down. I went as far away as possible in the weirdest places to look, and I found it. And I'm like, man, I love coming up with it, and I also love proving it. So that's one of the things. And also he did that every 100 miles, people speak differently. Lucifer did that. Science can explain it all they want. But Lucifer did that because how many people have died of wars and famine and everything else just because a hundred miles away they talk different. Dealing with humanity here, it's like a sponge. You can put a lot of shit on it or in it. Now, right, as I'm talking about the trapping thing and other stupid little things that he created, why, if anything, by creating millions of little negative things, in a way, he's helping God in our decision making, supporting God's free will commandment given to man. Weird, huh? There is so much more about God's plan for us that even a soul from heaven like myself doesn't know. And just remember, you can never assume the mind of God. Neither can I. I can assume certain realities of heaven, because that's where I come from, and I just went there 2 years ago, 2.5. No, I think it'll be 3 years this August 10. Huh. I tell you, I wish everybody can get a trip like that without getting, I got hurt, but all right. So I've just been sitting here for the last couple of months pondering. So far, all my and Devron's predictions we made in the Unchained, the last 60 Unchained videos, have all come true. Right up to this moment in Revelation. What should I say? What should I do? So I went quietly until I knew exactly how I should come across. And now I'm speaking again, and I'll be speaking every week. I'll be doing maybe 2 videos a week, but definitely 1 video each week. Right now, we are living in a paradox, a situation you can't get out of, with 2 equal sides of good and evil. The only power we have is free will. You can ride this whole thing being good and helping people, or evil and hurting people. It's your free will choice. Just so you remember, good equals heaven. Evil equals hell. Your choices are right there. As I watch the rise of negativity raising to calls for killing and hurting people from the far left Democrats, I see coming to fruition the catastrophic ending that will be the headstone of our current race. Remember, what you're living in now, Revelation, is not going to physically end well for the majority of humanity. When all this is said and done, 90% of people worldwide will just disappear, and that means either by disappearing or dying, and they're just gone. And 10% will ascend to a Jesus-created new world. With 8 billion people, that means 800 million people will be left to live on. Sounds like a lot, but when you're talking the whole planet, it's not. The last time there was a total of 800 million people on Earth was in the year 1790, 235 years ago. And there's 8 billion ready for the big heavenly deal right now. The first time a population reached 1 billion people was in 1804. That took 6,000 years to reach that many people, that amount. But since then, in 221 years till now, we have added 8 billion to that. What changed? Lucifer stepping up his game, of course. Lucifer is multifaceted. And people say, well, don't talk about him. Well, that's the reason why he's gotten away with so much shit. Maybe one day everybody will have to be a Gandhi, huh? Not me. I'm more of a Batman. Here's a current example of how Lucifer builds up his numbers and how it helps him so he can defeat Jesus. Now, using the 4 Biden years, let's see how Lucifer and hell worked. Biden's legacy is stained. I'm going to put a little bit bright. Sorry about that. Biden's legacy is stained. Now, where the hell was that? Oh, there it is. Is stained with 2 damaging decisions. The withdrawal in Afghanistan, which for now I won't get into, and opening all our borders so illegals, murderers, rapists, and drug cartels can flow freely in. There were some good, honest people coming in, but the majority were and are evil. Basic news reality. You never see or hear about the good, honest migrants because it doesn't make interesting news. So almost 100% of the major far-left news programs are about criminals and how Trump is abusing them. Basically, they're promoting evil. Look, we got to the point of where you could do a crime like shoplifting and steal $1,000 worth of shit violently. They just let you back out. An hour later, you're doing the same thing. What type of world is that? It's not a good world to be in. And this is what Lucifer, using his puppet, Biden, tried to create. Alright. And it's also mind control. They keep hitting you with it. Put it this way, there's 75 million people that voted for Kamala Harris that haven't a fucking clue. 75 million. No clue. They'll be the first wave to go. Now, Lucifer needs as much negative disruption as possible. He does this in many different ways. Obviously, he was controlling Biden for years. But now that he was president, he stepped it up, right? Oh, right. He stepped up his game by opening borders. Here's what Biden released upon American citizens according to the National Security Division of the U.S. government in his 4 years as president. Assaults, 6,457. Burglaries, 4,763. Drunk driving, over 13,000. Murders, 200. Drug arrests, 44,540. And illegal guns that they were carrying, 1,649 people. These are all people that they actually got and prosecuted. So this is only a small part compared to what really went down. They never tell you that. Rape. Innocent people, innocent women that got, and children that got raped. 1,844 that were reported. Remember, rape is one of those ones where a guy will rape a girl and she's too embarrassed to say anything, so she'll keep it to herself. Peer pressure, humanity. And all other crimes outside of what I just told you came to 17,804. So a total of 90,000 people's lives were destroyed, affected, or worse. As I have stated before, if something happens to one person, usually in 24 hours, 10 people know what happened to that one person. If it was a bad or terrible event that happened, then all 10 people feel the intensity and fear, and that builds up even more negativity for Lucifer to use. You see, I think a lot of people think that Lucifer's like, he walks into a deli, he gets a tray, puts a little this on, he's in a line. No. If Lucifer walks in a deli, he is in every single corner, dark space, atom, mass in that building. You just think that he's not. You don't have the proof. Remember, I have his picture. Taken on Friday the 13th, November Friday the 13th, 1998 at the Vortex. Friday the 13th. And I meet Jesus on Good Friday. 7 years later, 6 years later. Weird. Right. Now. Right. How could an American president do this? Now let's throw in the war in Ukraine and Israel, and you have hundreds of millions of people creating negativity through fear alone. Just in those three countries, in a span of only 4 years. Bottom line is, the only way humanity could turn the tables on Lucifer and beat him, and this is the truth, is to all turn nice and believe in Jesus as God and mean it. All 8 billion people, and that's never going to happen. So the believers of God and Jesus have to pray and pray. One thing I know is true is God hears you. He hears you before your soul came here. He hears you now, and he hears you in the future you that has not taken place yet. there's a little bit of mind expanding about God. One little aspect that we couldn't even be able to handle. I do have to say, though, I have been trained in this throughout the last 40 years. But I don't use these type of things unless I absolutely have to. You know? Let's see. Let's see. Now, for me, revelation is something God created. Even through a number of governments believe... Oh, even though that... Let me start again. Now, for me, revelation is something God created. Even though a number of governments believe I can change the course of revelation with my mind and with my abilities, I won't. I only help you get through it. Right now, your best bet is to review the past Unchained videos so you can fact check me. It's all right out there. Fact check me on every prediction, and they came true. They came true. They came true. Including my one that in August that Trump will win the presidency, and all hell will break loose afterwards. Yep. I tell you, humanity. If they could do it wrong, they'll find the best way to do it wrong. The evidence and verbiage over the last 35 years that I have showed the world, all that caught on was my orb discovery. To me, that's a shame, but it still does the job and raises everybody's awareness. In conclusion, during biblical revelation, everything in your life will be tested. Everything. There's nothing you can hide. Nothing you can hide from God or heaven. So your best and only choice of beings to fully rely on are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And one more, your own eyes. And that's the best person to rely on. What you see leading up to the war in 34 is what it is. Revelation, and evil's doors are wide open. Now I'm going to get to some of the pondering. The Menendez brothers, these guys, these two, 30 years ago, before a lot of you guys were probably even alive that are watching me right now. Let me find out where this is. I'm just going to pull that. I was going to show other ones, but I talked a lot. So let's see. Now, the Menendez brothers, as you all know, they went in 30 years ago. Their parents, they were wealthy, the family, and the parents were watching TV on the couch, and the two brothers walked in with the father's shotgun and blew them the fuck away. And I mean blew them away. And they enjoyed it. They probably tortured them a bit. Then, what did they do the next night? Now, they just walked in. These two brothers just walked in and blew their parents away. Without a tear, without a hesitation. So the next night, so they got a hold of everything. There was money in the house. There was jewelry in the house. They were cashing shit in over the night. The bodies were still there in the living room. And, they went out the next day. The next night they went out. They took a lot of money, because it probably cost $3,000 to $5,000 a ticket, and bought court seats at a basketball game. 24 hours after killing their parents. They had the popcorn and the beer and everything, and they're right on the thing. And a photographer for, I believe, Topps, took a picture of a basketball player, and look who's to the left in the picture. Watch. The Menendez brothers. There they are. If you look at his right hip, it's equal with the head of the two Menendez brothers. Now, that's so cool. Hold on, just let me bring. That's so cool, man. Hold on, here it is. Let me get this. There they are. The two Menendez brothers. Talk about evil. Talk about evil. That's what I'm telling you about people. You have to be careful. 1 out of 5 people that you meet in a day are mentally ill. Some violently. But the only reason that keeps and I'll say a minimum, but it's thousands of assaults and murders a year by these people. But is the construct, the laws, the construct. People are out more from 12 to 1 because they're going to lunch than they are from 11 to 12 or something, you know. And all these constructs, it cuts down. But what happens if all that disappears? That's what I saw. That's what was presented to me the last couple months. And that people just... That's why I question, why am I even doing this? You know, why? All right. Now, all right, we talked about the Menendez brothers. Here's another one. Saudi Arabia gave the United States, basically gave Trump, a $500 million new plane, which he can make into an Air Force One. What the hell's going on with that? I hope it's crypto, personally. And everybody better study crypto, because in a year you're not going to be using money anymore. They already stopped making the penny. All right. Now, when anarchy takes full effect, every safeguard in society will be broken down, and you're left with unchained humanity. Nothing to protect you and your family from evil in every form, except in what you know about realities. What you know about reality over the others. Knowledge is power. It always has been. Yeah, there's been kings that murder 100,000 people, take over their kingdom and stuff. But where that all started was in an idea. And then Devron, of course, fed the idea. Devron doesn't, you know, if you're evil and you need Devron to, you know, he'll help you. He's a neutral energy that God created. He doesn't swing both ways. He stays rigid. Now, let's just take the mentally deranged, for example. I'm going to end with this stuff. Take the mentally deranged, for example. 1 of 5 adults are mentally ill in the U.S. In 2021, the United States took the last census of this. In the U.S. alone, 1 of 5 one of 5 are affected by mental illness. This amounts to 22.8% are affected by mental instability. That means 57 million people here in the United States you have to look out for. 57 million. I didn't know, and this I'm admitting this as a human being, I didn't know that there was that many mentally ill people until this last couple months. I had to observe, and I didn't feel bad for me because I'm always protected, and I protect Sandra and the dogs. But the regular people, God, you gotta pass these videos around. I'm not saying you have to freak out, but it's good to know, to at least watch them one time, because then when the time comes, you'll remember. Now, how much is it higher than 57 million people now after the 4 years of Biden? Remember, this was taken in 2021 when he first became president. Look at the shit he did, and oh my God. Now, the number one thing that Lucifer needs to rise is anxiety disorder. This type of disorder raises the chances greatly that you will make the wrong decision and lose your soul. So please go back over the Unchained videos. Tell people about them. Put them up on things. I'm waiting. Somebody sent me a message from a television show. I think it was the Discovery Channel or the History Channel. But I don't know. I'm really not into that anymore. I'm more into getting my hands in the sauce. And in the last couple months, DARPA realizes that that's what I want. So we're going to see. And so does heaven. But I hope you all had been okay. It's the summer starting now. It's nice out. The leaves are coming out green. I want everybody just to take a deep breath. Say, okay, we'll do what we got to do. Please stay prayed up. And peace out.